The following is a special presentation of MRU Division 1 Super League 2025. The Dream versus the Shadows. Haseem versus background character. We started off with the Dream, Mr. Krabs. Well, his pinchers have been solid. Barking at every bite, biting at every bark. Acosta, he's been a tree, a temple, a statue. A big win over Monkey, and then a big win over Toasty. And now, one chance at the apple. It will take either a win, a tie, or even a loss and some help from his old buddy Toasty. And Acosta will see himself into his first ever knockout stage in Super League. It's been a wild appearance and a successful one. But background off the bye, anything goes. He's from Wales and he's been whaling a big surprise so far. A tie against Gold, but a really solid revenge game against Toasty. Sure, he already beat Toasty the first time, but a second win, and a second win indeed, has propelled him into a chance at a round 12 berth. A win here, and he'll see himself into the round 12. But no matter who wins this game, they both have solid control. And with no desperation, and full control lurks in, it means two things: locking in and more chances of aggression. Both are ready, steady and smooth, fast and flowing. One battle royale. Welcome to the BKK in week 4. Welcome to where control and the shadows meet the epitome of the dream. And it starts now on MRU.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the continued coverage of the 2025 Middle Road Energy Uno Tournament as we are deep in the heart of Super League play. We are getting ready here today for the continuation of Week 4 coverage, as this early afternoon we will be in the Group B region to cover the matchup of Haseem Acosta versus Background. Both of these individuals looking here today for advancement in Super League, and they can both do so with a victory. A couple more options for Acosta, and a lot depends as well on a game that will be played later on today. We'll talk about that here in just a moment. Here's a look at the standings here in Group B after the conclusion of Week 3. Acosta and Monkey currently sit with 2 victories. Monkey has played 3 games already. He's 2-1. Acosta looking to go a perfect 3-0. Background currently sits at 1-1, looking to go 2-1 here in Week 3. While Verigold and Toasty, they've had a bit of difficulty here. Verigold will be playing later on this evening, this afternoon, as a matter of fact. Currently sitting at a 1 loss and 1 draw, and Toasty's yet to get in the winners column, currently sitting at an 0-3. You see Acosta and Monkey currently tied at 6 points each. We'll be talking about the point system here, a win, a draw, a loss, how that calculates in. We'll also be talking about the scenarios here for both Acosta and Background right now in terms of how can they advance in this tournament. Well, for Acosta, several things can take place. He can advance on a win. Very simple. If there's a draw, if there's a tie, still Acosta would advance. And also, later on this evening, Varigold will be in action. A loss or a draw for Varigold, it's an automatic lock into advancing for Acosta. For background, he's got some options as well, but a little bit more limited than Acosta. A victory, and he advances, and then later on tonight, a draw or a gold loss would advance background as well. So really the only difference for Acosta would be he would advance on a draw. Background would not have that luxury. And here's a look at the action that's going to still be taking place here in week 4, as we've got this one here right now in the early portion of the afternoon. Later on, mid-afternoon, 4 p.m. Eastern, you're going to have Nick taking on Gone. That will be in Group A. Later on tonight, in the B region, you'll have Varigold taking on Toaster. We mentioned that is the prime time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then tomorrow at 2 o'clock, it'll be the final game in the A region, as Laura will be taking on Caesar at 2. That sets you up for what's going to be happening here today as we get ready for Acosta and Background to take each other on here. Novice versus Rookie. I'm Seth Cole. I'm being joined by Sean Art. We got Luke as our referee. And Sean, I mentioned about the fact here that Acosta comes in the novice class, Background comes in the rookie class, but what we've seen these guys do, not only during the 5 tournaments we've had here, but also here in Super League, they're playing veteran status, it seems.
And that's what I've been really talking about a lot during those live shows that we've had, including last night. It's been Acosta who's been dominating a lot of things, and it's the same thing here with Background character. He's in the same boat. They're both doing great things. It doesn't matter what class you're in. It matters what you do on this table at this point of the season, and they are doing incredible so far.
Of course, this is not a best of type series like we normally had back during T1 through T5. We will play 8 games here. We will end up having a clear winner or potentially a tie with there being even games. And it's interesting here, Sean, I want to get your take on this. Acosta won the coin flip, and he decided to defer. So the first 4 games are going to be a homestand for Background. Acosta will get the final 4 homestands. Do you like that call?
Here's the thing: there are some people that like to use the homestand second, and that works for a lot of people. I think for me, I would prefer doing that, because if you can hold on the road and basically beat your opponent there, you are in a great stretch when it comes to your home games in the second half of this matchup.
We've got Acosta. He is watching the stream. He'll be answering his questions accordingly to what we verbally ask him. Background is here in voice chat. So we'll start first with Acosta to give him that little bit of extra time. Haseem, you've had an incredible run here in week 4, looking to go a perfect 3-0 to advance further here in Super League. As Sean said, you've been dominating here. What kind of formula have you been able to find, and how much of that are you going to be relying on here as you get ready in this upcoming matchup against Background? And Background, I'll ask you here, as a representative of the rookie class making the Super League, as mentioned, you've been playing veteran-type status play, not only during the first 5 tournaments leading up to Super League, but in Super League here as well. What are the nerves like? Because I have to assume with what we saw with your style of play back during T3, T4, T5, you seem very calm, cool, and collected. Have you been able to get a chance to get those nerves quelled down a little bit here in the early portion of Super League, or are the butterflies still there? And as they get their answers typed out here, we'll again kind of give a little bit more background on how this all works for anybody that may be tuning in to their very first Super League broadcast here on MRE Uno. As mentioned, there are 8 guaranteed games that are going to be played here. Background will get the automatic first 4 homestands. Acosta will get the last 4. There are no power plays available here for either individual. The entirety of this series. So it's basically you got what you got. You got to hope that your skill, maybe a little bit of luck from the bot on the draws and the ammo distribution falls your way. And of course, as well, we mentioned that there's a unique point system. If you win, that means if you end up getting 5 or more victories during the course of this 8-game series, you get 3 points. If there's a draw where you get 4 wins each one of you end up getting 1 point, but a loss, you get a big goose egg, 0 points, and that could be a huge difference maker, especially dependent on what happens on the game later on here tonight between Verigold and Toasty. Background saying that not really much in terms of the butterflies, just hopes to have fun Uno. A loss here just makes the final game day more impactful. That it is indeed true. A lot of what we end up seeing, the fallout of this game, a lot of that is going to be dependent on what happens later on this evening in the second game that'll be taking place in Group B. Acosta comes in saying it's been great matches so far, just been going his own pace and sometimes going aggro. It's just been me and what I play. So I love what we're kind of hearing here, Sean, that basically for the two of them, they have found their comfort zone and they're just going to try and stay in it as long as they can here today.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Depending on who wins this matchup here, one of them or both could be guaranteed into the knockout stage. So be mindful of that with the scenarios that were placed.
It's a great point. Great point. Lot to play for here today. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get into it. As mentioned, Luke is our referee. Luke, I'll let you ask background here what we're going for to kick off this series of 8, guaranteed series of 8 here. How are we going to set the tone for this matchup here between Acosta and Background? Players get the option of 5 through 15. We've seen strategy all over the board when it comes to that. Let's see what we're going to have here. Oh, we're going classic. Why not? Classic OG7.
Why not? Let's go for it. Let's have some fun. Oh my goodness.
Wow. Now, Background going to do the, he's going to do the gentleman's, going to do the culture. I can say in a number of matchups I've called with Acosta here in 2025, he does not usually adhere to the culture. Let's see if he does here or not. He mentioned sometimes he likes to play aggro. Let's see what he's going to do here. Off the initial start of a wild, and he's going to play into it there. So there you go. That is classic Acosta.
He's like, forget your culture, man. I want to play.
Hey, I mean, to be fair, he's on the road here for these first 4 games. So, you know, if you play into that wild with Background drawing off of it, you kind of take away that home field advantage just a little bit.
Just a tiny bit, but not too much. It's still early on here in the game.
So it looks like we're going to start here in green.
Oh, Background's already out.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was wondering how quick somebody might run dry here with only a 7-card start.
And that's even with Background drawing on that start.
Acosta's out as well. So we may be already going into a bit of a draw city in the early going of this first game.
Oh boy, it's already begun.
Drawing back here, of course, one would have to wonder if this is a fact that there is literally no card available for either to play, or if there is an ammo card that they would like to hold on to and maybe don't necessarily want to get rid of in the early going. We'll see who's going to get that first break here. You got to wonder. Pretty similar in terms of the amount of cards here. Slight advantage to Acosta. You have to think if your Background, you might want to be the one that makes that initial breakout. Try and at least tie the advantage back up here, if not take the advantage on the homestand.
I think right now you're just waiting to see if someone's just going to be really aggressive here and do a color switch right here.
Who's going to be the first one to blink? Both players trying to rely on a little top deck luck here from the bot. So far, coming up short.
Nobody's taking the risk yet. Who's gonna take the risk and see if they get rewarded here?
Started out at a OG Classic 7. Now both individuals have hit double digits. Acosta on that last draw now up to 10. Background currently at 13. Costa taking a little bit of time here. May have something. May have some kind of a run potentially planned. Let's see what exactly he might be strategizing here. Do we see a breakout? We do. He's going to use a second wild here. He's had one on the initial draw, and he'll use the second wild to break out, bringing it into blue.
Yep. And we go to the Brad too.
So the floodgates have opened a little bit here and now. A little bit more opportunity for both players. Ooh, light switch.
That background says two can play at that game.
Gotta wonder if background, we're gonna have to kind of put that away in the memory bank, see if background circles around to blue again at some point, or was he out and initiated the light switch over to red? But look at that, might be why he went over. He was able to hit the double play there with the +2.
Yeah, and ties it back up here, but it's still Acosta here with the advantage.
Costa still able to play into it there with the red 9, of course, as well. With that +2, it does tie things up for background, but you are giving two freshies over to Acosta. We've seen so many times you can sometimes get burned based off of what you give to the other side. Acosta out in red. This is big if you're background, if you can continue to run.
Oh, but I would be careful here. Wrong number's going to give Acosta the chance to light switch it here.
Plays his own card there, and right on cue. Good call there, Sean. Yeah. Uses that 8 to light switch it over into yellow, so Pandora's box has been open. All 4 colors have been initialized.
Oh, double play by background, though.
So he was ready. Uses the skip into the yellow 2, the bow tie 2. Again, kind of opens up his advantage just a little bit there with that double play. Now Acosta's got to start thinking here as background down to 5 cards. We've seen 5, 6, 7, 8 card runs to the finish. We call this the red zone. Acosta going to play double up. One down from background.
Onto that monkey 3.
See what Acosta does here. You gotta think that at least maybe for Acosta, not much in ammunition. We saw him have to draw back and use a wild to break them out of that draw city. So he may just having to be relying on numbers, efficiency to maybe close this thing out. Unless he was, well, hold the phone. Maybe I was wrong.
Double play there.
Yeah, he has himself a +2. That's going to help him close up on background.
Oh, that's a heat.
That's an ISO. Costa is out. Background can still play into red. So this goes back to when he was able to light switch off of that 8 into yellow. Background brings it back to the red.
Oh, but it's still working here by background.
Oh, hold on.
Oh, is it a 4-bagger to win?
It could very well be. Oh, no. He'll end it on the Aria Green 1 at check.
Costa plays just normal here. Oh, and it worked.
He couldn't finish it. Background locked at Uno. Now has to draw back. Acosta also drawing back. If I'm not mistaken, Sean, this is the same card, the green 7 that we went into that early draw city on.
I would believe so. Yeah, it was this exact green 7. Here we go again.
Wow. So a little deja vu a little bit later. Oh, there's the light switch for background with the red 7. Costa with the DJ Curtis 5. So it's a question of how much red did we draw back here. I believe both were iced out.
It's always what you gotta deal with here once you get down to these lower number card starts. Because they start with 7, we got a long game here.
Costa brings it over to blue. If I were to wager a guess, I'm almost fairly certain as there you go. There's the double
Whoa!
play by background. Yeah, I was gonna say, I was fairly certain that blue was the color background was looking to close out on there, that was his one mitigating color when he was at check, and he was able to find the path there over to blue, courtesy of Acosta, runs it with the double play, and takes this first game in just a little over 8 minutes. Background, am I right in assuming that final card when he got down to Uno that it was indeed in blue? Because it kind of seemed like you might have been thinking about back when you did the light switch from blue to red that you might come back to blue at the close. And Acosta, I'll ask you, was it just a matter of maybe not getting ammunition to be able to work with or connector cards? Because we saw you use the wild during that draw city to be able to break out of green. Did you just not be able to get some luck there in terms of ammo cards needed to be able to chain some runs together there? It looked like the number efficiency was definitely on par. Background was stuck on the blue +2. He got that from the yellow +2, and if he hadn't had that, then he was going to win with the green reverse. Or sorry, the green wild rather than the red wild, which would have more than likely gotten him to his 2 reverse cards that got him down to check. So one of those rare occasions, Sean, where we end up seeing that the +2 actually works out defensively rather than maybe working against you and giving the ammo cards to the other side.
Yeah, it really was.
Costa says that a bunch of blues in his hand figured that background would switch off on the number. Okay, yeah, so yeah, tried to work the number efficiency and it did indeed pay off there. Yeah, it's a tough situation when we hadn't been in blue for a good portion of this to try and figure out. Yeah, you're good, background, all good. But it's a tough situation when you kind of realize that blue hasn't been played in a while and you kind of are thinking back and forth between yourself, do I initiate into that or do I not? Obviously, both still had some blue to play at the end of this one. So while we wait for background here, give him just a couple of minutes, we will again go and show you what is in store for the rest of the day as well as into tomorrow for week 4 of Super League. Got this one going on right now, 4 o'clock later on this afternoon in Group A. You've got Nick taking on Gone. Then you've got later on this evening, prime time, 8 p.m. We're back here in Group B. The fallout of this could have a lot of bearing on what takes place in the matchup of Toaster Guy versus Verigold this evening. And then tomorrow, we're back in Group A, 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time with Lara taking on Julio. Of course, as well, you can see that Brad has the bye in Group A and Monkey having the bye here in Group B. It kind of gives you a look ahead of what to expect in week 5, as we'll see Nick and Lara, Brad and Julio, Acosta, Verigold, Monkey, and Background. That'll all be taking place next week here as we continue on Super League in 2025.
Yeah, week 5 is going to be a big one here. It's going to be last chance for anybody who still has a possibility to make it in.
All right, Background has returned. So let's get into our second game of this series. Background again with a homestand, 1 up on Acosta here. And we're going to go to the 7. So maybe the two numbers that you hate the most if you're a bowler. Sorry to Charles Sanford there. The 7-10 split. That's what we're going to have here for our first two games. We'll see maybe a little bit of extra cards, a little extra chance for ammo here, as we saw both individuals iced out very early on the 7-card start.
Well, we'll see right here as we start with that blue 7.
So we will begin in blue with the blue 1. The color that we ended off the first game on will initiate the start of the second game, and as soon as we're there, we're immediately light switched over into green.
Oh,
Not
look
so
at
fast, we're back!
that! Background characters like, no. We're going to stay here in blue.
And Acosta will say, all right, fine, and so he'll play the JT5. Little ditto play there
Ditto.
from background.
Oh, got in that green after all because you can't go back to blue
He's
like
not
that.
giving up as Acosta. He wants that green.
And just keep it on going here.
So rapidly depleting green here on both sides. See how long we will run in said color before one of these guys initiates the light switch. Well, Acosta not able to. Neither is background. They're both iced out here in green. So it was the green 7 back in game 1. It's the green 6 here in game 2. So what are we foreshadowing? We're going to be iced out in the green 5 in game 3?
Oh, that is that's a risk. That is a risk to pull that.
Very risky there for background, leaving it open on the Caesar +2.
Does Acosta do it?
I mean, Acosta said in the pregame interview, he said, sometimes I've had to go aggro. And if he sees an opportunity to play off this +2, he might just do it.
It's good. Again, if he wants to, that's gonna be interesting.
And he's going to. Brings it over into yellow, caps it off with the yellow 0. You know, I've also seen sometimes where an individual will actually leave it open on a +2 intentionally because they feel they don't really have that good cards, and they're basically saying, please hit me with a +2, give me better cards.
But sometimes if you ask someone to do that, it could completely go sideways for you, and you might not even get any good cards.
Yep.
Because sometimes the bot just won't do that.
It's always a risk that sometimes players are willing to take as, wow, background trips play there. The reverse skip meta caps it off with the yellow 4. 1 down by Acosta.
Into that monkey 3.
Background now down to 5 with the yellow 7. Acosta currently at 4. Both these
Open that red
individuals,
zone.
they are indeed.
Over the red.
Speaking of red, another ditto play. And Acosta's out.
Is that what background needed?
Ooh, little top deck there for Acosta. Background still able to run in red, however. And Acosta's out. Couldn't find the number efficiency. Background down to 2. At check. Oh, man.
Oh, wow.
Puts it to blue. Does Acosta have a card in blue that can stop background?
He better hope he has a +2 right here. That's the only way.
+2, maybe gets lucky on the top deck draw, maybe drew a wild of his own.
Or he has a way to get out of blue.
Let's see if he has any type of an answer, or is his hands tied. Background, if he's able to close this, he'll be going up 2-0 in this series. Of course, the goal really for either individual in this matchup is to get to at least 5 victories to ensure you're going to get the win. He had the answer, and now he's at check.
That was a great way to hold on to that stuff.
Wow. Background will play into blue, feels that it's not a blue left for Acosta to close out, and he's correct.
And he's right. Oh, and I think that was background's last card right there.
Wow. What a clutch play there from Acosta. One would have to assume, what card maybe did he draw right before background got to check? Was it the reverse? Was it the +2? Whatever it was, it has kept this game going.
It just worked out so well. Over the green now.
Oh, wow, and background currently looks like he's 2-color suited right now. Gives Acosta more options.
That's not good.
So now it's a question for Acosta. How long does he try to continue to run here in green? Oh, wow, he doesn't even have to worry about it. I was going to say before he initiated over to red or yellow, but he does so with the stacked +2s. Caps it off with a DJ Curtis 5, and we're knotted up at 1 apiece. Acosta, I would have to assume a little top deck luck there, maybe when background got down to that check at Uno. I'm wondering, was it the blue reverse? Was it the blue +2? What was it that you were able to find there to be able to lock him out of getting to Uno, and then eventually being able to get that chain there at the end? And background, it kind of looked like you were pretty firmly in control there. You had that initiation over to blue. I think Sean's exactly right. That blue 9 looked like it was your finishing card. I know that you guys obviously are very skilled in looking at the card history and everything. How worried were you that there might be something on the other side, a contingency plan for Acosta to stop you? Yeah, he had to take that chance. Bad luck that he had the card to stop me happens. Yeah, it's a tough situation, especially with the fact you kind of consider that we were still pretty early into the game. We hadn't even gotten to the halfway point of the deck, so a lot of options were still probably going to be available at that point in time. And Acosta said when he played the blue wild helped big time since he had the green +2 left after the triple play. Okay, so it looks like, yeah, so Acosta may have actually had those cards already. It may not have even been the top deck draw, because that's a good point. We ended up having background swap off of the color that they were iced out, that Acosta was iced out in, bringing it over to blue. So those cards might have already been lying in wait off of the draw, and it may not have been top deck luck there on that play prior. Well, we're knotted up 1 apiece here. Background with a victory at home. Acosta with a win on the road. Time to get into game number 3. See if we can break this 1 apiece tie. Background again. His next to last homestand has the call. What are we going for here for game 3? So we continue to ascend just by minor increments from 7 to 10, and now to an even dozen.
A dozen donuts.
I don't know what it is. What is it with you and everybody that I commentate with talking about food references? You know that gets me hungry. All right, we're kicking off here. with an action card. So we had on the
Oh,
first game, we had a wild red skip to start off game 3.
whoa! Wow, background characters not wasting time.
Not at all. Double play right out of the gate there with the reverse into the 4. Half off for Acosta and then doubled back up again. Here a little self ditto from background.
Over the yellow.
Background will play into it. Again, a reminder to everybody that's just tuning in what's at stake for both these individuals in their hopes of advancing here in the Super League tournament. For Acosta, he advances with a win or a tie in this series. Background can only advance with a victory. And then, of course, for either one that comes out on the losing side of this matchup, a lot depends on the matchup later on tonight between Gold and Toasty.
3-1. They want to at least punch their ticket to the knockout stages of Super League.
Yeah, you want to be able to breathe a sigh of relief, right? You don't want to have to tune in tonight and kind of see how your fate's going to be determined. You'd like to determine your own fate right here and now.
Jeez, we're going all over the place.
Costa brings it back over to yellow, so we've not yet broken open the lock to Pandora's box. We go back over to yellow. We were in that just moments ago. Green would be our Pandora's box color at this point in time.
Acosta's loading up something here, probably.
He initiated the swap back over to yellow. Oh, wow.
Oh,
Yep.
wow.
First +4 of the series. It's a big one at a big time, so cap it off with the 2, and then background answers back. He'll leave it open on the +2, but he'll at least give a couple more cards to Acosta, who may have had a run right there. So that might have been a pretty key defensive play there by background.
That could have been, but I'm kind of nervous here on what Acosta might do here to counteract that.
I mentioned it back about earlier on that it's basically just down to gameplay here in Super League. You don't have the benefit you had the entirety of the 5 previous tournaments of adhering to that power play being the link in the broken chain, if you will. How do you think the period of adaptation? How long is it for players to have to remember that power play is not there, lying in wait for their availability?
Oh, here's the thing. So some of the better players that have been able to do this, it wouldn't take long. For those that are just brand new to Super League, it takes a bit because you got to remember, hey, that power play is not able to be in your pocket here. You got to try to see what you can do here as soon as you can.
Pandora's box has been open and Acosta is iced out immediately.
That's perfect for background character here. Double plays right there.
See if Acosta maybe can use a light switch here off the 4. Did he top deck a green? I almost wonder too if maybe Acosta might have green but doesn't want to play it. Yeah, I think that's exactly it right there. I think that he may have had that green +2, didn't want to leave it open, may have top deck drawed that green 1, used it to cap off, and background will now bring it over to blue.
Yeah, you're probably exactly right on the money there. That's because you don't want to do that sort of things here, especially now in a place where you don't get power plays.
Exactly.
You don't you want to at least have all the momentum as you can and not have a chance for your opponent to do anything bad towards you.
Oh, look at this.
Artificial door closer.
Another +2. Caps it with the red, and background says not so fast.
Yes!
He'll bring it back to blue.
Great use of the wild there.
It's like a revolving door. You just had it go back the opposite direction. And now with Acosta iced out, background with a double play.
Oh, not
Acosta
so
finds
fast.
an out. Oh
Oh, but
my!
a double not so fast.
The
Man.
back and forth seesaw here. Acosta iced again, and now background looking for the number efficiency to see if maybe he can close this out. The question is it all blue he's got left here?
Oh, nope. Nope.
So he'll draw back. We're knotted at 4, and now we're going to go into Draw City. But for background, is little top deck ditto play there from background, which will probably still keep both sides iced. But, man, a good defensive play there with the utilization of the wild by background, because who knows? Could be talking right here, right now about Acosta being up 2-1. Extends this game out again.
That's what background character has been doing really well so far. He's been trying to extend the game as far as he can.
Yeah, both have done a great job here in these first 3 games. What's looked like was going to be an easy closeout for one individual has been iced out with a great defensive play. We've seen these games run a little bit longer than what they originally looked like they were going to be. Says Acosta begging the bot for a little bit of help here on these top decks.
Now the bot's kind of being a bit slow here. There we go.
Both still iced out at this point in time, looking for something to break out, and the background will find it with the red 7. Might free
But
both these individuals up a little bit here.
that's going to more than likely do that because Acosta wanted that red a bit ago.
He'll go 1 up with the background 8.
All the way down now by background character.
Oh, Acosta iced out. Background at 2. Does he have a finish? Can he get to check? Little
No, he
shrug
shrugs
emoji
there.
there. Oh, he's going to go for it again. That's the shrug emoji. He's saying, well, I risked it last game. It didn't work out for me. Let's hope he doesn't have something to stop me this time.
I think Acosta's got something right here.
Let's see. What kind of an answer might he have? He had a trips play with a +2 the last time that background was in this situation with a blue wild. Does he have anything in store this time to keep this game going?
Oh, he's loading up.
Even if he doesn't hit him with a +2 or a +4, if he's got maybe some double reverses, double skips, he could maybe try to find a wraparound to a different color and ice background out. There's still options here for Acosta, who does have 8 cards as well, so it's not like he's limited on his choices with 2 or 3 cards. There's the wraparound.
Leaves it open on the reverse.
But he got it wrapped around a blue. He took it off of green, so he knows that background's not going to be able to close it out.
And it worked again.
Acosta finds a cap off there with the blue 2. Background still iced out. Do we continue in draw city, or does that 2 allow... Yep, there it is. Acosta able to light switch. Now over into yellow.
Double play there by background character.
If you're Acosta, you have to know that one of those 2 cards background has would obviously be in green. Iced out in yellow. And now Acosta trying to run the numbers here. Little top deck there with the yellow 6 by background. Acosta trying to chip away, get himself closer there to check as well.
They're both in the red zone right here.
Could Acosta, we're down to 4 cards. Could Acosta have, no, ditto play there. You gotta wonder if Acosta might have a finish. Let's see, there's that number efficiency. Over to green. Acosta's gotta think about this. So the question is, in those final 2 cards, did background have 2 greens? Or was that 6 right there?
Oh,
his
it
final
was.
card before, there it is. Green plus 2 closes it out. Background will go up 2-0, our longest game so far. About 11 3/4 minutes. If only I could get a +4 instead of a wild. Yeah, to be able to close it out there. But this time it at least worked out for you, background. You were able to wrap it back around to get to green. Was it the +2 or was it the 6 that you were having for your final card there? It was the 6. All right, so that +2 actually kind of, in a way, worked out in your favor there. You would have been able, if Acosta had brought it over to green, you could have chained it there, but you're able to use the number efficiency. Acosta, this is the second time that we've ended up seeing you being able to have an answer when background got down to check with a wild. Kind of just looking back there at the cards that you played and everything, what was it that you needed after that triple play to be able to close out? Because we saw you inching closer. Was it the light switch off of yellow? Did you need it to stay yellow to be able to take this game? So while we wait for Acosta to type out his answer here, 2-1 advantage here for background. He's got one more homestand coming up here. Sean, how important would this be for background to win this and at least take 75% of his homestands? Or do you think getting a 50% of homestands is actually maybe a good thing as well?
I think getting 75% of your homestand here is great because then you can go on the road and try to silence it out by winning there and getting that ticket punched.
Costa said he had a bunch of yellow, so him drawing that much let him get there onto yellow. So yeah, I would have to assume that number efficiency light switch into green was what stopped Acosta's run. And background now has a 2-1 advantage. Getting ready to go into his final homestand here of this series. Death to the ditto. We've seen quite a number of ditto plays here.
Oh, he's about to make enemies with that one. Just saying, it's not me who's going to be like that, but there are some people.
He dittoed the yellow 6, which let me switch off. That's right. Yep, that's a good point. All right. Game 4, final homestand for background. Background, what are we looking at here?
It looks like he's going to go... he's going...
Just 1 down from the full send.
He's going to... OG plus OG, 7 plus 7. Good grief.
Little dual OG. Wow.
Oh!
Well, background, you asked for a +4. I don't think you meant off the initial draw.
Acosta's going to do it again, is he?
Oh, yeah. It's classic Acosta. If he draws on this, then I'm going to be more shocked, because It's just not the way that Acosta's style of play is.
Yeah, it's gonna be Acosta. Acosta's gonna be like, forget your culture. There's no culture here.
And there we
There it
go.
is.
Plays into it, and we'll initiate the starting color to be red.
Then it goes down to the red 2.
All 4 games, we've slowly climbed up in terms of the card starts. A little over 8 minutes for our first game, 6 minutes for the second game, and our longest game here in this previous game 3. We'll have to see if this might maybe be the lengthier of the 4 games, with us having our highest card start so far of the afternoon, as Acosta will initiate the light switch over into yellow.
And background's just gonna keep on going.
Playing Acosta's own card right there with the yellow 9. And we go from the top floor all the way down to the basement.
Now back up to the yellow 4. Up over the green now.
Over into green. It's interesting just kind of looking real quickly at the stats here of these previous 3 games. Fairly even in terms of the ammunition. Maybe a slight advantage on the reverses for background, but skips, regular wilds, +2s, all pretty close. Incredible stat to me is we've played 3 games so far. Well, we could include this 4th game with the +4 off the initial draw. I don't know if that really counts much into it, but we've only seen 1 wild +4 actually played by a player so far in this series.
Well, that just means that we're not seeing those sort of big runs with +4s than we have seen with other cards, just like how Acosta just did right here.
Background iced out after the double skip in green, ending on the 8.
Back over the
And
red.
Acosta might have been out of green as well. That could have been a tell right there with the ammo cards and initiating the swap over into background's red 8.
Oh, what a
Whoa.
4-bagger right there.
Quad play, dual reverses, +2 capped off with the green 6. And just like that, we're knotted back up at 7 cards each.
But Acosta did just get 2 freshies. I wouldn't be so confident on playing that.
Costa going to play it clean, so bring it down to the cellar in blue.
Goes back up to about the mid of the whole thing.
Costa will go 1 down. Looks like we're running numbers here right now. Saw a couple of shots with some action cards there moments ago. Was that all
Oh,
we've got, or we got some maybe in reserve here? We'll have to see.
gonna have to see here what Acosta does here.
Got background currently boxed in here in blue. And he continued to run in blue. The last time that background was iced out in a color, it appeared that Acosta was as well, and he broke them both out. Let's see if he can gain advantage here again.
Oh, wow.
Breaks them
That's a
both out
heat.
again, more than likely
That's
here
a
with the red wild.
that's a heater. Oh
Whoa!
my goodness. +4 into a blue 6.
So this is interesting, that play there, Sean, because background 1 turn prior was iced out in blue. So
Must have been top decked.
Yeah, did he top deck the 6 and just use the +4 as a connector over to it? That's what I would assume happened.
I would think so, because there's no way that you would just go that aggressively back to a color we were just on and do that without trying to pull an ISO here.
See what Acosta's able to do. Granted, he was given 4 freshies there, and yeah, he was able
Oh,
to find a blue +2, stacks it with the yellow +2, and he's not done. We're waiting for, it looks like, the bot to, that might have, well,
eh,
I think we're just waiting on the bot to finish up this command. Look at it go into a yellow reverse capped off with a yellow 7. I'm trying to see if there's a type error. Yeah, there it is.
no, there it is. Oh yeah, he kind of made a little mistake
Oh
there.
yeah, he missed the other and sign. That's what it was.
Yeah,
Still got it in though. I mean, there's no power plays, so if you have that slight mistake, you're able to just quickly fix it and get the command completely in for that 4-bagger play.
oh
And
my
wow!
goodness, are you serious?
Back-to-back plays with wild +4s, and again brings it back over to blue, does background.
Are you kidding me?
So Acosta is able to completely negate the first +4 and
I don't
see
think
if
he's
he's
gonna.
as lucky this time.
I don't think he will be.
Nope.
It was just a little too much on that.
Kind of seeing both individuals here in this game getting bitten on the ammo cards they played. One would have to assume that the blue
Oh,
+2 that was stacked with the yellow +2 was off the +4 from background, and I would assume that that second +4 might have been off the stacked +2s from Acosta, so they're continuing to kind of trade back and forth.
uh-oh. Acosta's out here on green.
Background on a run. Gonna take the advantage here with the plane of that green 0. Tough to
Oh,
swap off of.
that's a typical card to swap off of.
I believe so far we've only had, I want to say it's the yellow 0 that's been played. No, we've also
Uh,
had the blue 0, so only the red 0 available out there.
oh my goodness.
Wow.
Good grief.
Stacked +2s again. Over into red, initiated by Acosta. And just like that, Acosta down to 4.
Oh
Background sent
my
back to a
goodness.
dozen.
Over to yellow.
I was going to say, I'm not sure that would have been an ISO there. We haven't been in yellow for a while, and Acosta half off, able to run in that color down to 3. However, what
Uh,
does background have? Like, are there ammo cards he tried to get over to with that light switch over with the yellow 8? Let's see.
yeah, he does. He does.
Oh,
Oh, green
apparently
wild.
not.
It's still gonna work.
Yep,
Still gonna work.
that was an ISO play right there.
It was gonna work because, yep, there we go. Background's gonna make a big run here. Top deck.
And now background iced out, so he was able to at least stop the run by Acosta. And
Oh,
Acosta finds an out again.
number efficiency.
And remember, it was yellow that background swapped off of with that green wild for an ISO play. So we know that Acosta might still be able to run in that color. Nothing background can do now.
The
At check.
number efficiency.
Over in red. Is that the finishing color for Acosta?
Oh,
Background. What does he
background's
do
gonna stop
here?
it. Background's gonna stop it right here. No.
Oh, he can't. Has to play into it with the red 7. Is this game? This is
That
game.
is. We are tied.
Tied up 2 apiece here. 50% victories at home for Background, 50% away victories for Acosta, as he'll get the next 4 homestands knotted up 2 apiece. Well, Background, I love how I talked about the fact that prior to this game, we had only had 1 plus 4 played between the two of you. We ended up seeing not just 1, not just 2, but 3 of the 4 plus 4s in this game here. Obviously, gave you some flexibility there to be aggressive. In hindsight, were there some cards that you ended up playing there that you maybe would have liked to have had in the closing stages, or was it just a fact you just couldn't find some extra connectors at the end? And Acosta, I mean, it was definitely back and forth. Background hitting you with the plus 4s. You answer back with the stacked plus 2s. You finally were able to get it established over into yellow, but how difficult was it with getting all of those extra cards, both distributing and receiving there on those ammo cards to be able to? I would assume you guys probably were somewhere into maybe M or N or O in terms of the pages of your playbook for the strategy there. So knotted up at 2 apiece. Acosta now going to begin his homestands. Remember, he got the coin toss. He deferred, giving the first 4 homestands to Background. Background says, got the plus 4s. Had to use them solely to stop Acosta from winning. Obviously wanted to win with the plus 4s. Never got a chance. Didn't trust Acosta's cards. If he didn't plus 4, couldn't stop him any other way. Yeah, I mean, that's a tough situation when you want to use the plus 4s fully offensively, but then you're kind of boxed into having to use them in an offensive, defensive way. And we'll see what Acosta says here. Again, remember, right now, we're halfway through this series. We're currently knotted up at 2 apiece. If we end up having the same scenario in these next 4 games, where we end in a tie, that is enough criteria for Acosta to be able to advance. Background, he could advance on a tie, but only if gold loses later on this evening. So for both of them, a tie can work. It's only a guarantee for one at the conclusion of this game. It's a possibility for the other, depending on what happens later on tonight. Costa says that the numbers have been definitely helping him in this series. The switching we had in that game, it is expected to happen. Yeah, we've definitely seen maybe a slight advantage more for Acosta in terms of the number efficiency, being able to find those outs when they're either in draw city or when Background has been looking for those ISO plays. We'll see if that continues to hold true or if Background is able to gain the advantage in that regard. He says he had the numbers to switch with, but but he was scared of using them. Okay. Well, Acosta, you now have the next 4 homestands of this series. We're knotted up 2 apiece. What are we looking at here for your first homestand game? And we're going to keep it high tier. We're going to be at 13, 1 down from the previous game.
And we're going to start with a yellow 5.
So an interesting scenario here for both individuals to be able to take this series, get those valuable 3 points with a victory. You're going to have to take 3 of these next 4 games. That's not an easy feat.
Yeah, it's really not. And right now, again, Acosta, if he can just hold on here and if it ends up with a tie, he at least knows then his job is done.
Yep. it's kind of an interesting mentality there, for Acosta. Do you think in his mind he's thinking win 3 games to win 2 games to tie, or just make sure you only lose 2 games? Like, there's 3 different ways he could look at it.
Really, I think right now, just try to see if you can win at least 2 games to at least guarantee a point.
Yeah.
And then see where you can go from there.
Well, right now, both seem pretty content to run in yellow. We saw Acosta actually play a ditto right off the bat. The initial card with a yellow 5, and he followed it up with a second yellow 5 here.
And we're now just running in the yellow. Oh, triple play by background character over the green.
Big play to take the advantage here on his first matchup on the road in this series. And Acosta, the number efficiency again, finds it back to yellow. Background, though, number efficiency of his own brings it to... Whoa, hold on.
We got Skittles!
Do we have Skittles? It's my first Skittles! And we have it in Super
Yay!
League! How about
We
that?
got Skittles! How about that? We had Skittles.
Rainbow 4s. Now over into blue, so that immediately dynamite blasts the lock off of Pandora's box.
It didn't just get blasted off. The top also got pushed all the way off.
It's about 3 zip codes over.
Yeah, it really did.
So now with the dam completely busted, if you will, and the water's raging through, let's see now where we're going to go from this point on. Oh, background going to be iced in blue.
Oh, this might be where Acosta wants to have it towards.
This could help Acosta be able to counter that triple play that we saw earlier from background. If he can draw background back, be able to play into this color, he'll go 1 up. Background might have found a top deck, and dittos the blue 1.
That's a top deck.
Now Acosta trying to avoid number efficiency for background. Cannot find any swap off the blue 3. Iced
Not
out
off the
again.
blue 7.
Yeah, we know that that's the second blue 7 there. So it would have been tough more than likely to light switch off of that. Acosta right now in control. He's down to 5 cards, and I'd be a little worried if I'm background, because some background have that action card triple play. We haven't seen a whole lot of action cards out of Acosta, although he is going to draw back on that blue 7. They both are.
Oh boy, are we about to go in the draw city again?
Yeah, we've been there for quite a spell in a number of these games already, including the very early portions of our first game of this series. Acosta breaks them out with the wild into yellow. Only drew back 1 card before that, so he's still right in that red zone.
He has a big play coming.
One would certainly have to think that maybe he does.
Double play.
Hits the +2 there. 2 freshies head to background.
Over the red.
Ooh, look at that. And Acosta's
Acosta's
iced.
out. That was great by background character.
So now it's the question of, did Acosta have all yellows to close out, or did he have yellow-green? Whoa! Whoa, hold on.
Oh. Bagger.
That was a double-double. Double +2, double skip in red, capping it off with the red 1. I had to look. I had to check real quick and see if that was 2 doubles or not.
That's a scoreboard flipper.
Massive play there by Background. And to your point, shifts the momentum in his favor. Down to 3. Acosta with those +2 stacked. Now back to 10. See what Acosta answers back with, and he'll just play it clean here with the DJ Curtis. Red 5. Oh,
that was a good move.
Yeah, Background didn't have anything else in the chamber there off of that 5-bagger. Might have been hoping for maybe a number efficiency play to get over to another color. Now Acosta knows he's got some options here, going to try and rely on number efficiency, but he played the wrong number.
Wrong
Background
number.
found an out.
But now, the question is, with the amount of cards Acosta has, does Background play the wrong color?
That's the thing, right? Gotta wonder, too, for Acosta, does he maybe try and find a way back to that red?
Oh,
there it is.
My goodness, a triple play.
There it is. He found his way back to the red. Ices out Background. And now it's to Acosta to make sure that he plays the right numbers and doesn't allow Background to be able to light switch. Oh! Interesting.
Interesting move there. Ditto right there on the green 3.
Yeah, Acosta giving Background an out there. Might be iced out on red himself. As now we're going to run in green. We haven't been in green for a while, and I assumed that back when Background was close to the end that he might have been sitting with a 2-color hand in yellow and green. So both of them now, we might run in this color for a little bit.
Oh, but wait. Background saying GG.
Oh.
He's calling that Acosta has a +4.
To close it out. Is he correct in his assumption here? Oh, yes. Acosta says you are correct. Has the +4, ends it out in yellow. And Acosta now goes up 3-2, picks up a victory in his first homestand of this series. Well, Acosta, Sean said that more than likely the mentality after the midway portion of this series for you would be just win 2 games to absolutely guarantee whether it's a tie or a win to advance. Is that kind of the correct assumption right there, especially what we saw here in this Game 5, being able to now go up just 1 victory away from an automatic lock with a tie? Background, we saw obviously some really, really interesting plays there. I had to go back and look when you hit that double +2 and that double skip in red. Looked like you definitely had some good ammunition cards. It looked like, again, maybe here at the end, just the number efficiency on the other side, stopping the momentum when you had it. And he says, hand looked promising, everything unraveled it. Needed to stay on red initially for longer. Hope that I can get better hands. Just out of curiosity, Background, obviously we've seen some pretty rapid play style out of the both of you, so it's been a little bit difficult, at least for me personally, to be able to get a read. Has there been, in your opinion, kind of some equality in terms of the ammunition on both sides? Is it just the fact that you're not able to get the connectors in the ammunition? What's been kind of the mitigating factor? So while we wait for the 2 answers here, there we go. Acosta says the double red +2 handed him the wild +4. Plan has already been set on winning the match. So there you go. So you hit the nail right on the head, Sean. Get those 2 victories here, past the halfway point, absolutely guarantee advancement, and then I guess maybe just kind of let the last 2 games settle out whatever they are, because a tie and Acosta's advanced in.
Yeah, that's basically it. If Acosta can just focus on getting at least another point, another win here, it's a guaranteed lock at that point. And then it's going to be really hard to see what's going to happen with background character. But there's still 3 more games left, so a lot of time can still change here on what may happen.
Average time of these 5 games just a tick over 9 minutes. So we've seen some really good gameplay. We've seen some games get extended, but they haven't gone into endurance battles as of yet. Background says in terms of the ammo, 3-2 just frustrating. My power cards have always been ill-timed or clunky hands with Acosta managing to perfectly play around them. So yeah, apparently it looked like statistically too the ammo distribution somewhat even, but maybe just like the spacing out of the ammo and maybe a little bit of the connectors of the ammo has been a bit of a problem here, but we'll see. 3 more games still to go. Acosta gets the call here for game number 6. With this game coming up, if he's able to pick up another victory, he is locked in. It would be at least a tie, and he would advance. For background, he'd like to knot this thing back up at 3 apiece with his first win on the road. Let's see what Acosta is going to say for our 6th game, and we're going to go down to 12. So while we kind of saw all over the place the slow ascent for background during his home stands, we're keeping it in the upper tier here for Acosta. Apparently he likes that higher chance for ammo cards in the upper tier region.
Yeah, and here we go. Going to start with a red 9. And basically, he's trying to get rid of the 12 cards here.
See what he decides to do here off of the initial red color. And for those just tuning in, currently 3-2 in favor of Acosta. Acosta advances in Super League here with a win in this series. He also would advance with a tie.
Oh, quick double play.
Should Acosta lose this series, he could also advance with a gold loss or tie later on tonight. For background, he can advance with a victory, or if he ties, he would advance with a loss by gold later on this evening as well. Gold and Toasty at 8 p.m. later on this evening. Yellow initiated, and both going to run in it for, it looks like, quite a good portion here. It's a matter of when we end up having these higher tier starts, just whittling those numbers down, trying to preserve that ammunition for as long as you can, kind of use that for the kill shot.
Yeah, it's when can you go for that move? It takes a bit though.
Ammo card used right there by background
But
as he will initiate the swap over into green.
but Acosta's not is not going down here. Here comes that mistake though.
So that wild worked out in background's favor there as he was able to find a color that he could ice out Acosta with. He'll double play with the green reverse into the green 7. Acosta's been able to use number efficiency, doesn't need to, may have top decked that green 9.
Back over to that green 1 and Acosta.
Pandora's box broken open with the blue 1.
That might help here with Acosta.
Background at 3, so he's down very close. He's in that red zone area. If he has the ammo cards, could have a finish, so Acosta might have to try and think defensive here on this next play. Taking his time here, considering his choices. He might be of the same mentality, maybe thinking that there's a finish on the other side. What is the correct card to play in this scenario?
He's thinking here for a bit.
He's going to play the blue 3. No finish for background, but he will be able to still play with the blue 5. For background, not right now, just trying to make sure that he plays the right number. Does not give the opportunity for Acosta to light switch him.
Might also have the thought in the back of his mind that could Acosta have something here to change anything to his advantage?
And if you're Acosta, you got to maybe think maybe the turnaround is fair play from the last game. We saw him end with a +4 when he was down to 2 cards. Is that what background is sitting on right now? Does he have a +4 kill shot here if Acosta is not able to draw him back? Oh, wow!
Huge play!
He had an answer. Quad play, ends on a draw, but stacks a couple of +2s, and just like that, flips the table
Oh,
once again.
wait a minute! Triple by background, and he pays back those 6 cards that Acosta just gave background.
Wow. So flipping the table not once but twice. Background iced in red, however, with that trips play. And so is
And Acosta,
Acosta. So we
oh
traded the
boy.
barbs back and forth. We've now depleted our ammunition, and now we got to draw back for more.
My goodness. What a matchup.
Both have done a great job in having answers one for the other. Some key defensive plays. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I believe statistically, when we've been in these draw cities, it's actually been Acosta that has gotten the luck on the top deck draw, been able to break them both out. And he does so again right here. So he'll bring it over to green with the 3.
No, but that's going to open up background to also get a little bit of help right there.
So we drew back to double digits on both sides. Question is, did we draw back anything that is helpful for either one? It's a lot of action cards played there, as both were getting pretty close to that red zone. Costa might be setting up for a big play here. Nope, instead just plays it cool there. 1 down with the green 4.
No. Game before I lose.
There's the pun. We haven't had that. Have we had that pun at all today yet? I don't think we have.
No, that's the first time we had that pun. Oh, wow.
Light switch there for Acosta. We had
Over
a
the
Skittles
yellow.
on the 4 earlier. We're not going to get it at
That-
double this time.
We're not giving a double order of Skittles here. Not yet.
We don't need that much of a sugar high.
Especially with some of these people.
So Background now with the +2 double play. Sets Acosta back once again.
Acosta's just playing it calm here. Oh, but
Oh,
background swinging for the fences here.
yes, he is. +4. Brings it over to blue, caps it off with the blue 0. That's a total of 6 cards in the last 2 plays that he has sent Acosta's way.
Good grief.
And Acosta still plays it cool. Is this a
I
matter
think
of Acosta just not having anything to be able to counter, or is he lying in wait?
he's right now like a snake in the grass right here. He's coiled up and ready to strike.
Biding his time, waiting for the right moment. Background 1 up here in the blue from the 7 to the 8. Let's see what Acosta does here. Does he continue to play it cool? Does he have his finger on the trigger here?
He might have his hand ready to pull it out, but I don't know yet. Oh, he's
There
pulling
it
it.
is.
Right there.
Stacks the +2s. Caps it
Bring that
off
on back.
into green.
Oh
And then an
my
answer back again from background.
my goodness. Every time Acosta has something, background reverses that.
It's been +4s for +2s. It's been +2s for +2s. They have continually seemed to have a counter for each other. And now background at 8, Acosta down to 12. Neither one right now anywhere close to the end zone. And with the ammo cards we're using, it's kind of taking away the ability for run. We're getting into the territory now where you're going to have to rely on color control and number efficiency if you're maybe going to pick up the win in this game.
Oh my goodness. Background going crazy here with the moods.
Goes back to blue. Remember, we saw him use a wild +4 to get over to blue as well. Uses a regular wild this time. Looks like Acosta's trying to get it over to green. I don't know if that's for an ISO play or if that's the color he wants control of. Let's see if he finds a path maybe back to green here again off the wild, or does he have to play into the blue initiated by the
He
wild by background?
gonna be interesting right here.
Costa might have an answer here. We haven't seen him immediately play a blue card here. And he finds the wraparound again, but interesting. He only stays in green for a spell, uses it as the connector to bring it over to red, and then the number efficiency by background brings it back to blue once more.
And then Acosta's gonna just keep it clean here.
That was a big play though from Acosta. He's now within striking distance, closer to background.
Again, he's like a snake right now. He could strike at any second.
Both in the red zone. One would have to wonder if there's any ammo cards left for them to chain together for a finish, or are we relying solely on a little luck and number efficiency here?
I don't know. Background is really, really close.
Whoa!
Double play.
Uses another +4 to bring it over to yellow, down to 2 cards. That'll set Acosta back to 9, but now the question once again, that background's had a couple of times, is what is on the return for Acosta?
I don't know if he could do anything here. Like,
Oh,
well, he could do that.
he can definitely do that. That's an ISO play from Acosta.
That was perfect.
And now Acosta going to try and run in the blue here. Continue to ice out background. Self-ditto there. So that will force background to continue to draw back. And the advantage that background had, which was 2 cards to 9, is completely erased. We are knotted at 5. Background will find the light switch here into red off the 7, though.
Oh, and Acosta's just going to keep on going here. We got a drag race.
Yes, we do. It's in red. Both now knotted at 3. Background iced. Acosta looking to take the advantage. He'll
He does over to
initiate to
yellow.
yellow. Oh boy. Background plays into it, but the advantage right now here for Acosta
Oh.
down at 2. Does he have a finish?
Oh,
He says
that might be it.
GG's.
That might be it. Calling for another +4.
Is he correct? Is it back-to-back games with a +4 finish for Acosta? And indeed, that is the case. He'll end with the Chomit Green 8. And with that victory, Acosta secures himself advancement in Super League with what would at least be a tie if Background were to win the next 2 games.
That's at least. But if it's a straight up win by Acosta, it won't matter.
Correct. Well, it has been back and forth for sure. I'm honestly not... I don't think I really have any questions for either one. I've kind of... Any questions that I would have, I've already asked in previous games. We kind of really saw what we saw there. The game spoke for itself. Our longest game so far, at just a little under the 15-minute mark. So maybe the closest we've gotten to an endurance battle between these two in this series. Background says 1 turn away from a +4 win pretty much all game. Every single time Acosta's cards have been perfect. The one thing I guess I would ask Background is we've seen a very aggressive playstyle out of you with the +2s and the +4s. Do you think that maybe the returns on those have also kind of been what have allowed Acosta to be able to have an answer when you get down there close to being able to have one of those closeout victories? If he had the cards to not do that, he wouldn't do it. Yep, makes sense. Acosta says literally kept giving him cards from the +2s and the +4s, bad timing. Now we talk about that all the time where sometimes you run the risk of what's on the other side with the +2s and the +4s, and you've been playing the cards that I'm given. Yep, completely understand. Well, you still have an opportunity here for advancement, but you're going to have to, I believe, win the next 2 games and then rely on a loss by gold here tonight. So we'll get into game number 7 as Acosta looks to lock himself in further. He's already got 2 victories, sitting at a perfect 2-0. He'd love to make it 3-0 here in week 4. He gets his 3rd homestand of the series. Acosta, what are we looking at here for game number 7? So now for Acosta, it's a matter of just kind of building up on what he's already got for a resume worthy of
going
advancement.
full send!
Oh, he is. Look at that. These next 2 games for Background, they are must win.
And we're starting with a green 5.
I believe this might be the first game that we are actually starting in green. We've been in the other 3 colors. Green has been the outline, the redheaded stepchild, I guess we could call it there, but it's going to be the initial color here for game number 7. So for Acosta, he's already advanced. For Background, he needs to win these final 2 games and then rely on a loss by gold later on tonight. Gold at 8 p.m. taking on Toaster Guy. And immediately we're light switching here with a ditto play as well into blue.
And both of them are going to play that blue 5. Oh, bet the green.
Yep, look at that. Light switch back to the original color by background off the 6.
And Acosta's just going to keep going.
A lot of 5s and 6s here in the early going, as now down the lower tier by background with the 3.
Background's out.
Acosta
Acosta's
might have been
just,
out as well, but he broke them both out with the light switch.
yeah, he's just playing it smooth here. He's not doing anything at the moment.
It's incredible for these two as well when we've ended up having one individual be out of a certain color. It seems like the other one's out at the exact same time. Another ditto play.
Acosta's just going to keep on going here.
Been a lot of ditto plays in this series. I think we're up in the double digits now
Oh,
for ditto
red
plays.
8. Background plays his own card.
So that's Pandora's box opened up right there. All 4 colors have been played. Acosta gonna bring it back into blue.
So saying red just for a card. And then back over to a different color. Triple play.
Triple play gets background into the single digits there.
Tied.
Costa now going to bring it back over into red. A lot of aggressive light switching out of both of them right now.
Double
Another
play.
double play there from background, so he'll take the advantage now.
But Acosta still has some cards here that he could do.
Both are in the red zone here as we run in that color.
They're both just playing it clean here.
Yep, just numbers. Knotted at 4 apiece. Background with the possession advantage.
Oh, he might be looking for a double, triple, or he's trying to go for a win here.
Does he have the kill shot? This is a must-win game for background. Nope, gonna have.
Just gonna play it clean here.
So you got that red 9 separating, but that could, I guess, technically be called a self-ditto there by background. Costa also at 4. Does he have a run to the finish?
He could.
Both have just kind of been tiptoeing closer here with the numbers. Both maybe building for that final big play.
Oh, triple play to check.
Background, I think, kind of sensed it there. He had the call out ready, but the Uno was registered for Acosta. Caps it off, that triple play into blue. And background answers back.
With a
+4 into the red 5. 1 card left, but 4 freshies over to Acosta. Could this be one of the few times here where background does not get burned on the 4-card return?
That's gonna be trickier.
He's tried this play a couple of times, and Acosta on the return's been able to find the 1 card that's been able to keep background from closing out a game.
He's thinking right now.
Yeah, one would have to assume that the last card here for background is a red. He needs to hope no wild or wild +4s were given on that return. Maybe no red +2 either. Does Acosta have an answer? Oh, he does.
Unless it's green here.
Could be, and it's
No!
not.
Brilliant!
And now Acosta trying to slowly negate that +4 here. Oh!
Number efficiency!
How about that?
How about the number efficiency there?
Oh, but I
My
don't think
background.
that's the color
Double
he needs.
check!
Oh my. Iced out is background. He needed it over into red. Does Acosta have the number efficiency to end this? No,
No!
neither one do.
Wow!
Both had that one pesky card on either side that they could not clear. Both at check, and now we're going
Is
to
it?
start drawing back.
Oh no, it's over.
Wait,
Oh
maybe a
no,
top deck draw?
I think it's a top deck draw +4. Yep.
Oh, wow.
Top deck draw into the
Top.
+4 into the FS7, and Acosta will win no matter what
So
happens in game
Acosta
8.
is guaranteed to go 3-0 here in week 4. And with that, the chance of a tie is negated for background. And so it looks like with the scenarios given coming into this matchup, background will not be able to advance. Still got one game left to play here, even though it is a moot point. Acosta currently up 5-2, has taken this series and does so in a big way with a massive top deck draw with that +4.
Oh no.
Chair shot.
Oh, that's gotta hurt.
All right, well, we'll get the formalities all out of the way here. Cap this thing off here. I'll answer that question for you in a second here, Red. But we'll find out real quickly what are we going for the final and 8th game of this series here, Acosta. So the notes that I was given coming into this matchup here, Red, was that for background, the way for him to advance was 2 scenarios. Either a victory or a tie, and Goldie had to lose tonight.
So, to answer the question, no.
Yeah, that's what it's looking like with what I was given as far as the scenarios for this matchup.
A loss would equal, I think, it's going in the next week, I think.
Yes, I think you're correct. All right, let's see what we're going to have for this final game here.
It's
Acosta.
on Acosta here.
Gonna go 11. 11 for the finale. Double ones. So final game of this series doesn't have much bearing on the series as a whole or the trajectory of both the competitors. Acosta is going to go a perfect 3-0 here in week 4, going to continue his momentum streak.
It's just the momentum there, and again, he clinches the spot into the knockout stage. So no matter what happens in week 5, he is in.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, and I'll double check real quickly here on the graphic I was sent, but does this give Acosta a bye for week 5 or no?
No, he he doesn't have a bye.
Okay.
If I go all the way back,
Okay, no, Toaster Guy's got the bye for next week.
yeah, because Acosta took the week 1 bye.
Correct. Yep, you're right.
So Acosta's gonna go in the next week. He does have a little bit to play for just to see if he can try to secure the top guy out of everybody who was a part of the group stage.
Yeah, Costa will be playing Varigold in week 5. You look back at Acosta's 2 victories, though. You mentioned he had the bye back in week 1, won 5-3 against Monkey, and then won 6-2 against Toaster Guy. So they've not just been victories; they've been decisive victories. And right now, depending on how this one shakes out, it's going to be another 5-3 or 6-2 victory for Acosta.
And that's just been the way how Acosta's been playing here. Once he gets that I think once he got that momentum back in week 2, it's just been like that constantly. It doesn't matter who he is facing, it has been the same. Triple play though by background character here. Trying to at least salvage something.
Yeah, right.
out of-
With what's been a tough series here, at least kind of give you at least a little bit of a good feeling if you can cap off this series with a victory.
Ditto play right there.
Gone is
Oh,
already
going to the KT Wild.
Gunn's already played 3 games, 2 victories, 1 loss. I'm sorry, correction. I'm looking at the wrong graphic here. A Monkey has already played 3 games with 2 wins and 1 loss, so he currently sits at 6 points. Acosta with this victory will now be at the top of the board in Group B with 9 points. Of course, 3 points paid out for each win. So that firmly puts him up at the top of the leaderboard.
And that GD differential is going to climb even higher. It was
Yep.
entering at 6. It could go up to double digits at least.
Wow, look at the monster hand again here by Acosta. The trips play down to 2. Background still iced.
Is this good? Oh, got the check.
Gets to check with the yellow 4. Looking for his second 6-2 victory here in the series. Oh, but background finds himself a wild, brings it over to blue for an ISO play.
Oh, oh no. Oh, okay. Crisis averted there.
Kind of like yep, I understand right there from Acosta. Background hits him with the +2. Will draw on it though, leaves it open.
Let's see how that works.
Knots him up at 4 cards each.
Still trying to just find something here for background character. Costa's just gonna keep playing clean.
We mentioned about Acosta. Next week, going to be playing Varigold. Background will be facing Monkey. Ooh, background. Light switch over into red.
And Acosta's just gonna keep on going here.
And at least
background
for
will at least
background,
he salvaged something.
he did. At least caps it off with a victory. It'll be a 5-3 series win for Acosta, but background at least able to get one of them back here. 3 victories in this series, Incredible series here, and how about that? We were, I believe, after Game 6, we were at average time of 9 minutes 1 second. We managed to average it out after Game 7 and 8 to 9 minutes even for the average time played here in these 8 games. Well, Acosta, congratulations. A perfect 3-0 here so far in Group B. You'll be facing off against Varigold next week, but you have advanced with this victory. You know, you mentioned at the beginning of this matchup here today that you found a comfort zone. You were going to play to all those strengths. Got a little lucky there on the top deck, but you've had the number efficiency game, the ammo distribution, the timing of the ammunition, some great defensive plays as well. Confidence level's got to be pretty high here getting ready to advance in Super League. And background, obviously, congratulations getting that final game there, able to end this series on a high note. I know that we were kind of following your narrative the entirety of this series. Just it seemed like timing was a big issue for you in terms of when you had to use the ammunition, the defensive cards on the other side there. But a well-played series, and obviously you still got another game to be able to play here later on next week as well. So your thoughts of going into that and facing off here against Acosta, you know, what little things maybe do you do slightly different, or do you feel you played to all your strengths here in this series? Acosta says, felt good winning the scent, especially against background. Mission is complete for now. Yeah, the job is only half done if you're Acosta. There's still quite a ways to go here in this Super League tournament, and we'll wait and see what background's final thoughts are as well. A great series, and I think we kind of broke the record in the term saying back and forth. That's exactly what it was between the two of these guys here today, Sean. Costa says, played good. Definitely could have cleared it up in the early games, but hey, it's Super League. Yeah, Super League, got to be prepared for everything. Background says, hard fought, frustrating series. Been a bad day since waking up on it. At least 4 wins. I could have won had Haseem not had perfect hands each time. So a hard fought victory for Acosta. He now advances in Super League. And this now sets us up for the remainder of the afternoon. 4 o'clock, we'll be in Group A. You'll see Nick taking on Gone. Later on tonight, prime time, 8 p.m., we'll be back here in Group B with Toaster Guy taking on Varigold. Tomorrow afternoon at 2, we'll cap off our coverage of Week 4 as Lara takes on Caesar. What an incredible series this was. Again, congratulations to Acosta, as he will be moving on in Super League. Thank you all for joining us here on the early afternoon stream. We'll see you for the upcoming 2 streams at 4 and 8 respectively. I'm Seth Cole for Sean Arndt, Luke, our referee, and everybody that was here spectating this incredible series. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you guys later on this afternoon in just a little under an hour's time as we continue on Super League coverage of 2025 Middle Road Energy Uno Tournament.